Hey man, we rock and rolling with the East Spot with Camille. And speaking of places, I think her guest is from DC, from Southeast DC.
Oh, really? Southeast?
Yeah.
You gotta put Southeast like that. You
Yeah.
gotta say with the F. South.
Okay, South, East. Okay. But Camille, why don't you introduce us your pick
I
for
will.
South?
So today on the East Spot with Camille, I have Brittany B. Knight. She is an Amazon best-selling author, multimedia creative, and journalist. Brittany is the sole owner of Alchemy Media Group, where she assists individuals in making their creative and editorial dreams come true.
Oh, well, maybe,
Yeah, that's you.
Maybe she can help us.
So let's start from the beginning. What made you want to be an author and a journalist?
Well, first, I have a couple of writers in my family, authors. My grandma, Dina, rest her soul, and my mother is a children's book author, Andrea Knight.
Oh,
So it's kind of just
royalty in the
me.
building.
Yes, it's almost like a lineage, really.
I can relate.
But yeah, I started writing. I probably wrote my first story at 9, but when I was first published was 16, with a youth publication called Vox in Atlanta, Georgia, where I grew up. So I really made my career choice on what could I wake up and do for free. I asked myself that at 16, and I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do, with no outside influence from anyone. It was just, I can do this. I can wake up and do it for free. And I did do it for free for a little while.
Most great jobs you do. So what is your favorite part of being a journalist or author?
Telling stories.
Yeah.
Being a storyteller. Because, I mean, there's everyone in this room, in this world, walks of life, have a story. And it can inspire someone, motivate someone, can heal someone. And I think there's power in stories. So...
Speaking of motivation, so tell us about the book that you got the bestseller award for.
Yes, it's an Amazon bestseller. Went number 6 on the motivational books chart for Amazon.
That's huge.
It's called Her Chronicles, and it's actually an anthology. So I was a co-author along with 10 other authors.
Okay.
And it's about stories of women and their trials and triumphs. And my particular story dealt with date rape and domestic violence, and my overcoming those things and still being able to live my life full and wholeheartedly.
Wow.
She went deep. I was not
I know,
prepared for
No,
that.
some heavy subject matter. It is.
Wow. So, I'm like, man, I don't even want to ask the next question, but I'm going to go ahead and just reintroduce everyone to who we're speaking with. We're speaking with today on the East Spot with Camille is Brittany Knight. With over 10 years dedicated to journalism, Brittany has written and produced projects for companies such as Vibe.com, TEDx, and Essence.com. Brittany also co-authored, which you just mentioned, Her Chronicles, that went number 6 on the Amazon best-selling list for motivational books in 2016. So let's see, what motivates you?
What motivates me? Well, I'm a new mom and I'm a new wife. So my household, my son, his education, his protection, all of those things, his well-being, they motivate me now. It used to be other things like travel and money and what's going to look good on the gram. I'm a little bit older now. I care about my mortgage.
Adult problems.
Right, real problems.
So if you don't, you will.
Exactly, in a major way.
So where do you find these stories, or what kind of inspires you to write now, since you made that transition of being a mother and a wife and so on? Do you write differently, do you feel like, or do you still try to?
Well, I did have a 3-year hiatus from writing. I was doing entertainment journalism mainly, and relationships. I had a relationship column with Black Love Forum as well. And like I said, I've gotten older, I've evolved, the things that I care about evolved. So the thing that I'm writing about now is more so about motherhood. So I'm starting an outlet that's launching in 2020 entitled Mama Woman.
Ooh.
So I really just want to dive into these things because there's so much information that is not talked about, in the 4th trimester. So, I really want to touch on those things. And me and my girlfriends, we always talk about these things amongst ourselves, but we never find any resources for it. And so I'm just deciding to put on my editor-in-chief hat. Instead of knocking on anybody else's door, I'm just going to do it myself.
I love it. I love it. So you've interviewed a lot of people being an entertainment reporter.
Yeah.
So you got any fun stories you can share,
Oh,
or
man.
any warnings we shouldn't invite on the East Spot?
Let's see. I'll tell you about one of my best interviews and one of my worst interviews.
Oh, yay.
One of my best interviews was with Big Boy. Big Boy was dope. Big Boy is like a big brother. Like, he wasn't all with the fame, and he was just down to earth. I felt like I was talking to my brother. So that was a really great interview. Let's see. That was the Heineken Inspired Tour. My worst interview was probably a phone interview with Bilal.
Why?
Because I think, and I hate that I put, he's still a great person. I just think he was tired. He was on his way to a show in Atlanta. It was snowy. He was on the train. He just was not feeling me. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't feel journalists because a lot of journalists just ask the same questions.
And they're trying to do that gotcha moment.
Exactly. And no one is digging for the stuff that could really motivate a person or see themselves in that artist or in this corporate CEO. They literally ask the same things that you can find on Wikipedia, and that annoys me. That's what I strive to be, to not be, rather, to actually do my research and impress my subject, because they're like, dang, I didn't know you. That's a good question. I'm glad no one asked me that question. And I like having that effect on my subjects. So that's another motivational thing about being a journalist.
Well, speaking of that, so tell people who might be interested in becoming journalists, that might be listening or interested in doing their own blogs, podcasts, whatever, what kind of tips you have as far as making sure they stand out. They are different. They are unique. Like, what are your suggestions?
I'm so glad you asked, because I'm also...
That was one of those great questions. Didn't get that from Wikipedia.
Right. Actually, I have a Skillshare class. I'm a Skillshare instructor right now. Plug.
Yeah.
You guys can actually go to my IG. The handle is at @BKnightWriter, and go to my bio and log on to my class and learn the beginnings and the humble beginnings of becoming a journalist and freelance journalism specifically. I would say networking is one of the biggest things. Networking has gotten me into Vibe, and it's gotten
That's how we met.
Right, exactly. It's gotten me into Essence, and it's gotten me into TED projects. And it's just about talking to people.
Just a quick question I just thought about. So what kind of foundation did you have to have? Education, or just jumped out there, or what?
Actually, I'm glad you asked. I actually went to Florida A&M University.
Bam, you in the house. HBCU in the house, right?
Rattler.
Rattler.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
I am a rattler.
Calm it down now.
But I also want to encourage people, and this is also in the book, my situation with date rape actually happened in college, so I ended up leaving before graduating. So my story is unique. My experiences are unique in making it as a journalist and being in these rooms with these people. It really is about networking and being genuine and being reciprocal. If someone shows you love, you show them love back. You follow up. Those things are really important, And if you have something of substance to talk about and you're passionate about it, then I feel like people will more than likely want to get on board with you. So just being genuine and really doing your research, that's a really big thing about it too.
Is there anything that surprised you about once you started to share your story, share your experience, especially with date rape and other things? Is there anything that surprised you when you actually started on that process that surprised you about doing that?
I was surprised the book went to Amazon bestseller list. I didn't think anybody was interested in reading about my story or anything like that, to be honest with you. And like I said, it's not just my book. It was actually the main author is Jay Stone, and she has been a mentor of mine, and she has always just encouraged me to just believe in yourself, believe in your talent, and go with it. So really, just knowing that people wanted to know about it and how it inspired them, had no idea that me divulging this very vulnerable information about myself would open up this door for me to help other women as well.
So the voice you're listening to, this is Brittany Knight, writer extraordinaire. You You also have a wonderful new stuff coming, your websites and everything. So let's just make sure that everybody knows where to find you, how to get in touch with you, how to get your Skillshare class, and so much more.
My IG handle is B Night Writer. My website is B Night Writer. That's BKNIGHT Writer WRITER.com. You can see all of my work there. You can drop me a line if you have a story that you want to be told. I want to know about it. So you can actually hit me up. We can talk about it, and maybe let's get you published. Let's do it. Also, my outlets, dopaminemag.com is actually a student-ran magazine outlet that I have. So you guys can go check that out. You can get in through my Skillshare class, take that, and then you can become published on my outlet.
Yay! She's awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. And again, this is the E-Spot with Camille Cower. You can follow me at The Real Camille Cower on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter, CKOnAir1. And I now have a website, CamilleCower.com.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right, I'm growing up.
Good stuff.